morning from a very sunny, snowy, and cold Washington. We're here to talk about water. We can see water right now in all three of its states. We see water in this glass given to me by Pep. Thank you. A glass of water in its liquid state. Through my breath, and in the clouds, we see water in its vapor state. And we have the snow and the ice all around us, and that's the third state of water in the solid state. But let me tell you a really fun fact about water that people don't know. We are drinking today the same water that dinosaurs drank millions of years ago. And that's because water is a closed system that works with evaporation, precipitation, and is constantly coming back to us as a closed water cycle on the earth for billions and billions of years. Some not so fun facts about water, and these are based on data. I've been working more than 40 years in water and sanitation, and all forms of water, food, for energy, for access. We still have 2 billion people in the world who don't have access to safe water. Over 3 billion people who don't have access to sanitation. And we're seeing the devastation caused by droughts, floods, and too much water, too little water in the wrong places, not at the right time when people need it. And we're also seeing the importance of the water cycle in regulating the Earth's temperature. So what we have is too little water in some places, too much water in other places, and water that's just too polluted to use. So a group of us came together about 8 years ago, and we came up with the principles for better understanding, managing, and valuing water. And we called them the Bellagio Principles for Valuing Water. And there's 5 principles that are still relevant today. 1, that we need to recognize water's multiple values. There are deep interconnections between human needs, economic well-being, spirituality, and the valuability of freshwater ecosystems that must be considered by all. 2nd, we need to build trust, and we need to understand that water has multiple values and needs to be allocated across different stakeholder groups. We need to protect the source. That's the 3rd principle, value and protect all sources of water. 4th, we need to educate to empower. And finally, we need to increase investment in institutions, infrastructure, information, innovation, the 4 I's, as we all say. So now we know what the solutions are. We need to work together. We look at water as a system, holistically, across all sectors, across all countries, and globally. This is a hand pump, a prototype of a hand pump that was made in Bolivia in 1994, based on the Tara hand pump designed in Bangladesh. And the reason this gives me hope is that this is a locally developed solution on hand pumps that can be easily maintained in communities that went from Bangladesh to Bolivia, and it represents how we share global knowledge, how the water community comes together and cares and looks for locally bred solutions that are relevant globally. And finally, what I want to do is take my hand pump, fill my glass again, and pass it to Carl Ganter, who's the founder of the Circle of Blue, a very good friend, a storyteller par excellence, and one that is always at the border between perception and reality. Over to you, Carl.